with the name, and they said, "Oh, can we do it? Hurry up, because it's 48 hours. We need a name."
Wow, really? 48 hours?
That was
Wow, that's really
No, only because it was a hot item, right?
Yeah.
You know more about that.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it was.
Because it was a news thing.
Right.
And so before it hit the, what do you call that? You know, the social
The press,
media
yeah.
and all that.
Right.
They wanted to name it.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, actually, it was first the initial discovery telescope. So they were the ones. So fan stars is most likely looks at the sky, repeatedly over many nights, taking the same image of the same place, and then looking at differences between it. And they'll see something moving, and then say, oh, "Hey, we got something interesting here," and how they all work in synergy. And it's not like every telescope is the same. So.
And somebody was saying, don't be surprised that there are many more.
Oh yeah.
What do you call those? Interstellar
asteroids.
Out there.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
This is not going to be as rare as it seems.
Yeah, and the only reason we're seeing it now is just because we're several different projects starting where they're just serving the entire night sky repeatedly, and so whereas that ability wasn't even possible more than 10 years ago. So yeah.
So how different does it look from what the artist comes up with from what you guys see in the telescope?
Great question. I mean, so I'll lead off by saying this is why we have artist renditions. It actually looks really boring because so the background is these were originally discovered in the 70s or 60s, I can't remember. And they were named quasi-stellar objects because quasi is like fake or similar to an stellar star. So it was these objects that were similar to stars, but they definitely were not stars. And it took astronomers a little while to get most of our information, especially with this discovery. We have to look at the spectrum. So we break that light up into its rainbow constituents, and we can see certain what we call emission lines, and we can identify that. Basically tells us how far away in the universe it is. If I remember correctly, about 13 billion light years away. Now, as a side note, distances in astronomy is misleading because this universe is expanding. And so what do you take as the distance? The distance when the light left the object or when we see the object or somewhere in between. And we actually have different definitions, depending on what we're trying to show. So, so we shortened the word quasi-stellar object into quasar, right?
Yeah.
So it left the object 13 billion years ago, before the Earth was formed, before the sun was formed. So a long time ago. And so the farther away we look, the longer it took that light to reach us. So in a sense, telescopes are time machines because the farther away we look, the earlier it had left the object.
We're just slow in knowing that it existed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the light's been shining at us for however long, And so the actual distance was precisely determined using radio data from the Atacama Large Millimeter Array in South America. So, but they already had an idea of roughly how far away it was, even with the telescopes here. So anyway, I want to talk about the object, I guess, is,
Actually, can we pause before
Go
you
ahead.
talk about the object? For some
And what we focused on was looking at the Kumulipo and a Hawaiian worldview and looking at our creation. And so looking at the Kumulipo, we found that the similarities between what Hawaiians believed as creation and what science tells us that creation was. Science and Hawaiian culture, Hawaiian language, they're usually viewed as two separate disciplines, but if we remove that division, that divider, we're able to see that there are far more connections than there are differences between the two. And so it was really an amazing experience, being able to learn about this quasar and then the dwarf planet that we also looked at, and then learning the background information about it, like you shared with us. And so I was
At our workshop last summer, we had all this introduction first from our traditional documentation through our Pōniuāʻena, which are our creation chants of the universe, our Hawaiian universe. And this is from our people from way before us. So the amazing thing, one of the amazing documentation of what's online. We went online, went to the Mayas, Ojibwe, China, and other places, and just checked out how they were generally. And with the Hawaiian, there were some few things on the so-called, the name of one of them, the most epic. This occurred where we divided up, I think there were about 22 of our participants, students, into 4 groups. And they just brainstormed, that there was towards the end of the 5 days, I think it was the last day.
Yeah.
The last day. And we had a special committee that said, we're gonna not just for the naming, which was a part of the assignments that were specifically given to our students. But when it came to the naming, and our people were always in person.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
it's like a mini rehearsal.
Yeah, this is a mini rehearsal. Yeah, we have to watch our time too.
Right. You have a Zoom meeting
At
at
1, yeah.
And I forgot that I meant that.
Yeah, these two.
You guys can keep talking, it's okay.
I think for everyone, for when we do the interviews, how do you pronounce the name correctly?
If I just said it, together, Pōniuāʻena. Pōniuāʻena.
Cutting my Kimura and Kealohapauʻole name because I just did it.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I was like, this is such a long name.
Yeah, you can see this Po, the new, and the ya, because I said it, those 4 words, and then ena is a word itself.
Okay.
And the breakdown, literally Po is,
Like holding.
yeah.
Maybe you should get a shot. Can you give me a shot with your
Sure, that's a shot.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of the word? I'm very
Oh,
curious about
and
that.
and
I think
him
it's
is the
things.
word